Donald Trump already seeking legal interventions in several states before these final counts are in. So let's go right through the facts and the law. We're seeing new suits or moves by Donald Trump in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, where a court already has rejected one new Trump lawsuit. Other measures, though, may proceed, like this Wisconsin recount. But here's what we know from past cases. These moves rarely flip who wins a state unless the margins are well under 1,000 votes. So, just doing the math, I want you to keep that number in mind, 1,000, as you look at some emerging margins. Michigan, with 97% in, is what you see here, 16 electoral votes, 97% in. Trump's filed a lawsuit to stop the vote counting, or take Wisconsin. Biden, the apparent winner, 99% of the votes in. But the margin, 20,000 votes. Now, let me be very clear. On the one hand, those are not some huge landslide. They look like tight margins. But precedent shows they are not tight enough to be reversed in a recount. Now, with all the recount talk in Wisconsin, let's look at just a recent example from that same state. 2016, there was a recount. It showed Trump defeating Clinton. And that recount only shifted 131 votes. That's why Wisconsin Republicans are skeptical tonight of what Donald Trump wants to do. Another similar situation in the same state, Wisconsin Supreme Court race, 2011. The challenger cleared a recount after losing by about 7,000 votes. Now, how many changed? 312. Now, cases where the recount did change the outcome, it can happen. If you remember Al Franken's 2008 race, he was initially trailing by just 215 votes on election night. That did move as the recount proceeded. Franken ended up winning by about 300 votes. Now, again, remember what I said at the top. Under 1,000, maybe. Over 1,000, basically never. These are examples that just hinge on a few hundred votes. The Trump campaign is bringing legal challenges in states where the margin is well over 10,000 votes. That means for a recount to make a difference and not just take time, it would have to be a precedent-setting event, changing thousands and thousands and thousands of votes in a way we have, at least as far as history is concerned, never seen before. This is important math for the fights coming up, and we want to bring in our math political experts. Rachel Weikhofer is the editor of the Cycle Political Analysis website and a senior advisor to the famous Lincoln Project. She's been crunching numbers all year. And Che Komanduri has worked for the Obama and Clinton campaigns and advised Democratic candidates on exactly these kind of questions of state margins. Good to see you both.
Thank you. Thanks, Ari.
Che, if you don't follow this in and out like the two of you, one could see how with millions of votes cast, 10,000, 5,000 sounds close. What do you see as relevant in Wisconsin if past recounts only moved a couple hundred votes and Trump trails by 20,000?
Well, I see two specific things. One is the nature of the margin that Vice President Joe Biden has, which is fairly significant and unlikely to be overturned in a recount. Now, historically, only 11% of all recounts have actually flipped whoever the winner was. Virtually all of them were within 0.01% of the result. The best example being the 2004 Washington governor's race between Dino Rossi and Christine Gregoire, where that did actually flip. It was within 0.01%. Joe Biden is well out of that range. The second thing I will say is a psychological factor that is in Joe Biden's favor, which is the fact is he is going into these court challenges with a positive vote tally. He is ahead on votes. If you remember the 2000 recount, Al Gore never was actually ahead of George W. Bush in those court challenges. It's psychological because judges are very unlikely to want to be the ones that overturn an actual election winner. They are much more comfortable maintaining the status quo that voters have established.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.